Breitmann as a bummer. Charles G. Leland General Sherman holds up on his course. He stops at the Gross Road and reins on his horse. Dear S. Ford on die Riffer this day we moest take, or else die Grand Army and Beeses shall preek. Van Schuss this word from his lips had gone past. There coomed a young orderly galloping fast, who grie mit amazement, Herr General. Good Lord. Dat bummer der Breitmannisch hold in der Ford. Der General he uttered no hymn and no psalm, but opened his lips and he briefly said again. Dear moest have been whiskey on dat side der Riffer. To get it those chaps would set hell in a shiver. But now dat they hold it, ride quick to their aid, ho, sickles. Move promptly, send down a brigade. Dat Dutchman moest work mighty hard mit his sword. If against a whole army he holds to the ford. They sport on, they hoard on, gallopin' straight, but for Breitmann help coomed just a little too late, for as die Lauwen goes smash mit her pound, so on to die Bummers die repels coom down, Heinrich von Schinkenstein est head in die road. Dietrich Hinkelbein as flat as a toad. Und sepper Tiroler spoken for a word, but schust mutter Gots. Und died in die Ford. Ich Elevensbrück ich drilled through die Hair, ein Raus Boblingen he to vash dear Carly of Carlas Rues shot near defense. His horse vash overloaded mit Turkeys and hens, und though he like a raven mad cannibal fought yet der Breitmann der Captain and der hero vash caught. Und die last jings we saw, he was tied mit a cord, for die repels had pulled him up at die Ford. They stripped off his coat and skuggled his boots. They dressed him mit rags of a repel recruits. But von Greyhard old Veller smiled grimly and bet dat Breitmann won't be a pad egg for dem yet. He has more on his pipe as dem Villers allows, he has carts yet in hand and das Spiel ist nicht aus. DLL find dat they took in der Teufel to board, die day they pulled Breitmann over die Ford. In die Bowery each Beerhouse mit crepe was awapten, von der in die papers dat Breitmann was gone. Und die Dutch all caught trunko upon lager and wine, at the great Trauerfest of die Turner Verein. Dir was wine and mit wine und bo plesh did dink dat Sherman as great Charman couldn't firm or trink. Und in William Street Wiepen and Valen was horde, because der Hans Breitmann was la city Ford. Second part in Dulce Jubilo now we all sings, of the Fendi panners like Effery Dings. Die Priest drew die Bein trees ish cooler and salt, und der General is merry van furvy halt. Lusty and merry he schmells at die Pries, lustig and heider he looks through die Dries, lustig and heider ashville he may pe. For Sherman, at last has marched down to the sea. Dear S. agree from die Gart dear S. Clotter and Dramp, from dat ferry same orderly rides drew die camp report on die Ford. Dear Stripples and I in die face of die about some meetings he saw. Und he speak me in French, like he always do, look. Cigar plus. Fenter too? Dearish Breitmann his spook. He ish coming this way. Nom de garce. Can it be that die spooks of die Ted men come down to die sea? Und he looks, und we sees, und we tramples mit tread, for risen all sword on die Fenen red was Johannes der Breitmann der war es, bei Gott. Cum riding to Usvard, right straight to die Spot. Almost still we stood, yet mit up schon pine hearts, for he looked shoes so pig as die Sheend of die hearts. Und I heard die Saugdeutscher say Avenue Marie. Brays got all gut spirits by land and by sea. Booth at Sig of Frankfurt he lift up his nose, und bemerked that die Spook had been changing his clothes, for he seemed like an generalissimus dressed in a vlimin new coat and magnificent vest. 6 pistols beschlagen mit silber he wore, and a cold mounted sword like a Caesar he bore. Und wie dinks dat begost or whatever he pe moest have broken some panks on his way to die sea. It is he. Und der let noch. He lives wie all say, der Breitmann old Breitmann. Hans Breitmann. Herrje. und wie rush to impress him, und still more wie find dat verrefer he die peen, he die left noting behind. In both of his poots dear was portemonies crammed, mit green packs stuff full all his haversack jammed, in his buckets cold dollars vier shinglen der dunes mit duzen voches und 4 dozen spoons, und du silber teapots for mac in his d, der gust half pring mit him, en route to DC. Mit gut sweet potatoes, und dorkies, und rice, wie makes him a super of everything's nice. Und die bummers hunt round about, all we ein, dill de find a plantation mit perils of wine. Den T was hier stu, Breitmann. Altschwed bist zurück? The Teufels you makes since dis 14 nights week? Und wie holds von stupendous and trippelspree verscheuert dat der Breitmann has got to DC. But in fainted reask where der Breitmann hat peen, what he tid. What he passed through or what he might seen. Where he kits his fine horse, or who gaf him dem wounds, and how Providence blessed him mit teapots and spoons. For to all of dem queries he only replies, if you tells me no cadience, I asks you no lies. So 'twas clear that some deripple mish dry moose peeve where he kits all dat plunder he brings to DC. Dearish papers and Richmond dells deripple lies how Sherman s Graham der me half raised their supplies, for we read and Brent dat der General Grant say die bummers half only shoes take vat davant. But 'tis whispered dat Hillary full for LL go round der Breitmann villen for a pagan be found. Or starvin ash Brisner by Junder. Not he, Hilder Teufel could help him to get to DC.